What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the charmingly churlish Dr. Disaster, and last fall, when we first saw some footage for Subnautica 2, I made it no secret that I did not care for the character designs. I took one look at them and said,
how do I put this? No.
I mean, take a look at this character, for example. To me, this appears to be the love child of one of the Camino aliens from Star Wars, who made all the clones in the Clone Wars, but it's the love child of one of these and freaking Waluigi with his long head and big-ass chin. And I don't know what game developers are thinking when they make characters that look like this. I mean, she doesn't need to look like a supermodel or anything, but just, make her look normal, as opposed to being
one ugly motherfucker.
But all that aside, despite my dislike of the game's preliminary look, I had hopes that Subnautica 2 would please its fans. It was supposed to come out this year in early access, which had a lot of people really excited. In fact, the game was already the #2 most wishlisted game on Steam with over 200,000 followers. This trailer that I'm showing here also just released in order to get people pumped up about this game, but bad news for anyone who wanted to dive into Subnautica 2 this year. It has been delayed until 2026.
You suck!
That is annoying enough for fans of the franchise, but now it looks like there is a potential boycott of Subnautica 2 developing. This post here is from the r/Subnautica page on Reddit, telling people not to buy Subnautica 2 because it sounds like the reason the publisher has delayed the game is simply to avoid giving out bonuses to developers who would earn those bonuses for hitting certain sales targets this year. This post has over 38,000 upvotes in about a half a day, and as you can see from the headline of this article here, the story is starting to blow up. Gamers will argue over a lot of things, but one thing that has a tendency to unite gamers is a disdain for slimy business practices by gaming studios and gaming publishers. It turns out we relish the opportunity to join our voices together and say,
You greedy dirtbag!
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I've begun uploading some content onto Rumble as well, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster on that site too. Also, give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to my account at all times for your reference. The jury is still out on whether or not Subnautica 2 fits that mold, but one thing that most can agree on is that the controversy surrounding the game looks like a crock of shit. This article here is from Windows Central, and it details what is going on. We're going to read it. The article says here, Subnautica 2 is one of the most anticipated, if not the most anticipated survival games in existence right now, and that very existence may be in jeopardy. Yesterday, it was reported that Subnautica 2 has been delayed to 2026 amidst turmoil at developer Unknown Worlds. And that turmoil, to be clear, is the fact that the 3 founders of the studio were fired by the publisher Krafton under what seemed like pretty unusual circumstances. Now that we know more details about what's going on with the company, though, it makes more sense. These guys were probably protesting what Krafton was doing, which led to their removal. But the article tells us Subnautica 2 was revealed as an Xbox Game Pass title slated for Xbox, PC, and other platforms later in 2025, but drama and turmoil at developer Unknown Worlds has the fan base calling for boycotts. owing to the behavior of publisher Krafton. Krafton reportedly has arbitrarily delayed the game, and why? The current reporting suggests it's to avoid paying out milestone bonuses to the game's developers, amounting to $250 million. With the delay in place, Krafton would no longer need to pay out the bonuses. Krafton ousted the developers' leadership team and replaced them with one of its other studio leads. Like I said, this sounds like some absolute bullshit, where a big-ass corporation is playing games to avoid paying out bonuses. The article then says, the drama has led to strong calls for the game's boycott, with one thread on Reddit hitting the front page of the site hard with over 30,000 upvotes. Subnautica's ousted founders have claimed that the game's delay is effectively arbitrary, noting that the game is ready to hit its early access targets already. Krafton disagreed, stating that the game needs more content before it can hit early access. The delay reportedly frees Krafton from having to pay out the aforementioned bonuses, leading to fans crying foul and the subsequent calls for boycott. The new trailer above was posted yesterday, and as you might expect, the comments are flooded with calls to boycott the title and pay the developers their promised bonuses. And as you can see, the image at the bottom of this page is a bunch of people who commented on the trailer. Let's read them to gauge the temperature in the room. The top one there says, "Give the devs their bonuses, Krafton." And then the next guy wrote, "Delaying and cutting directors to save money is something Altera would do. Love the new levels of immersion." And of course, Altera is the awful corporation that runs everything in the Subnautica universe. But then the next comment says, "Clearly Subnautica was prophecy in game format, because it ended up predicting that an evil corporation would steal money and resources from an unknown world. Funny how that works." And then the next guy says, "Devs do really deserve the $250 million bonus. We ain't forgetting that." And at the bottom, the commenter wrote, "Effing love how united the comment section is on this. Yeah, Krafton, give the devs their damn bonus." And yes, that comment section for the trailer is indeed united. I gave it a cursory scroll for a few minutes, and I could not find a single comment that was not talking about being angry at Krafton, which is a thing of beauty. People aren't threatening them or anything like that. They're just voicing their displeasure, and I love it. That being said, it's a little bit strange that if you look at the numbers on the trailer, you can see that at the time of this recording, they are hovering at around 600,000 views in less than a day. But if you look here, you would think that the trailer would have been ratioed given how upset people are with Krafton. But there are currently 60,000 likes to about 7,000 dislikes. What this tells us is that people are upset at the publisher, but not at the game itself. They like what they see on the screen, but they're voicing their displeasure at Krafton. The problem is that when you get a bit of a mixed message like this, a publisher like Krafton will choose to see what they want. It seems to me that they will likely ignore the messages and pay attention to that positive ratio and the fact that the game is still the #2 most wishlisted game on Steam. They know that people will buy the game despite being annoyed with them. So, what I recommend, if you really want to send a message, is to change your like to a dislike on the trailer and remove the game from your wish list. That is how you send a message, in my view. But I'm going to leave it there. What do you think about the Subnautica 2 situation? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.